How's practice going, Jalen?
It was all right. It was cool.
Yeah. Are you kind of where you want to be at this point in training camp?
Yeah, right now. We'll keep getting better, though.
Jalen, you've mentioned a couple times how much you've liked playing in this expanded role. How's that feeling as it's getting so close to kickoff? And is it kind of personally like an empowering role for you to be able to be so close to the action?
Sometimes. Got a lot of growing to do still, though.
Are you eager to get to game planning, kind of get out of training camp mode, get a game planning mode next week?
When it comes, it'll come.
This today, Jalen, was an opportunity, for the starters to play extended reps against ones going against ones. What kind of was your evaluation of the offense and the defense today?
I don't know yet. I gotta watch the film.
Any first impressions though, just from being out there going against Stafford in that environment?
All right, y'all. Appreciate
Sony,
it.
what was your
Thank
first
you.
impressions of watching your new team out there today?
It was good, seeing those guys have an inter-squad scrimmage, compete today. It's always good to see guys compete, have fun doing it, and that's most important.
How quickly can you learn the playbook to get ready for week 1?
That's the big goal. That's the big question. That's my goal, to dive in and learn as much as I can, and try to stay on it and just keep learning. That's all I can do right now.
What's it like being back on a sideline with Thomas Brown, especially as you continue to work your way into the system?
It was good, me knowing some of his ways, learning, getting back adjusted to, what he do and how he run things. And it was good kind of, just listening to him, listening to some of the key points and just trying to learn, really.
So can you take us through just the last 2 days have been like for you since you learned you were traded and getting out here?
Last 2 days kind of just been, the best way I could put it is, football terminology, sudden change. It's like, something suddenly happens and you just got to, get ready to, kind of execute. Not much time could be wasted. Just kind of got to get up, get ready to go, and kind of get, adjusted, acclimated with, the new adjustment.
What do you remember playing against the Rams in 2018 and 2019, or last season?
Last season playing against the Rams, we unfortunately didn't come out on top, but it was a competitive game.
And in the Super Bowl, you personally had a pretty good game. What do you remember about that?
Oh yeah, that was another competitive game. There was some great players on that side of the ball. We had some great players, and unfortunately we came out on top. But now I'm on the other side, so let's see if we can, make something happen.
What really intrigues you about this offense from what you've seen today?
What intrigues me is some of the guys that's on the offense, starting with the quarterback, the leadership, the running back room. Some of those guys, how they compete, how they communicate on the sideline, the receivers. Some of their. I was watching a little bit how they execute some of their routes, some of their route detail, and offensive line. Most importantly, how those guys communicate, and kind of just doing their assignments.
Were you surprised at all? I mean, I know you talked about you have to be ready for sudden change and react, but were you surprised that you were traded?
I was surprised. I would assume that most people, when they're traded, they're surprised a little bit.
Sonny, what do you find in the Rams offense that is similar to what you were doing before, and how it's been the transition?
Right now, I'm still learning, so I don't know much of the similarities. For me, I see it as a whole different offense, a whole different team, and different philosophy.
It was a surprise to be traded, but at the same time, with your contract status, I'm sure your agent knew there was a possibility. Did you think about that going to training camp with the Pats at all? Did that cross your mind at all? That
No,
maybe
not
there was
at all.
change coming?
Not at
No,
all.
really?
No.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Have you cracked open the playbook, or however it's done these days, enough to have any early impressions of what it's like?
No, not yet. Today's going to be my first day to kind of get that crack at it, and I'm going to just try to dive in and learn as much as I can.
And then what's your sense of what you bring to this offense? Les Snead was talking about you being complementary to the other running backs, suggesting you bring something that maybe the Rams didn't have.
I'm going to just try to be the best version of me, the best player I can be, whatever they ask, whether it's, just running down, going to block somebody, catching the ball, running the ball, whatever they need me to do, I'm going to try to do as best as I can to try to, fill whatever void that they need to fill.
What was your morning like? I mean, I know it's your first day and everything's new. Even the roads are new, the surroundings, everything. Who do you remember maybe talking to right off the bat? Who's been sort of helping you get into the building a little bit more?
One of the scouts, Ryan, that kind of been getting me acclimated a little bit, picked me up this morning. Had to go through a couple things, but it was smooth. Kind of what I expected, and I'm looking forward to these next couple days.
You've obviously, you've gone from high school, then college to pro, but a change like this, like you described it, a sudden change. What are some immediate takeaways of what that is like versus the sort of onboarding in a traditional training camp and the longer changes that you've undergone?
For me, it's all about, trying to adapt as quickly as possible, and that's all you can really do. You can't control it. You just got to try to adapt and just keep moving forward.
Saw Todd.
Two more, guys.
Todd Gurley tweeted after you were traded, kind of a congratulatory text. Do you have any relationship with him? Have you stayed in touch with Todd at all? from through the Georgia connection?
Yeah, that's my guy. Me and Todd, we talked. He kind of sent me a text similar to that tweet, and he kept it simple. Congratulate me on the move, because I'm sure he knows what kind of system I'm coming into. So I thought that was pretty cool.
When were you told? When were you told about the trade, and how soon were you on a plane?
I was told yesterday morning, and I was on a plane. The first flight out, really.
So, a couple hours? Or, I mean, what was the?
I had some time. I really wasn't rushed, because I still had to go pack my stuff. But let's say I was told about 7:30. I was on a flight probably in the afternoon at 4.
So I know that
Last one.
I know that that's maybe a tough thing emotionally to process, right? And I know you don't want to maybe get into all of that, but how do you process something like that emotionally as you sort of get into this building, into the system?
I believe just as professionals, that's part of our jobs. To be able to process things fast when things are thrown at you. It's just like the football game. There's things that's thrown at you that you didn't expect. It's all about trying to process it and adapt to it. And that's all I'm trying to do right now.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.
Thanks, Sean.
Thank you.
Welcome.
Yeah. Aaron, how's practice been going at this point in training camp?
I've been going good. Just working. Trying to get better. So.
Aaron, when Jalen moves around like he's been doing, and especially when he plays close to the line of scrimmage, what do you hear from him? Because he's closer to you, obviously.
What you mean?
When he's playing closer, like in the slot, close to the line of scrimmage, what do you hear? How does he react to things? How do you feel him?
He make plays, but I don't really hear nothing. But he make plays. He's flying around. He's all over the field. Yeah, that's what he's here for. So.
What are your impressions of Sony Michel from past experience?
From what I've seen prior years, good football player. What I hear, a great football player. So I'm just happy, he's a part of our team now. So.
Any particular memories from the Super Bowl?
I don't want to talk about it.
Aaron, what did you feel like you guys were able to get out today? It felt like a game-like setting with.
Yeah, just good, just good work. Get some football conditioning in. Fast pace. Actually getting them long drives and on and off the field, and getting to simulate that. So it was good to do that.
Aaron, I know each year is different, but how is this defense kind of shaping up in your mind compared to maybe some others that you've played on in the past?
Well, this year I feel like we've been getting better. A lot of guys been flying around, playing physical. It's been fun to watch, honestly. So, I don't never want to, go off prior years, but this year, from what I'm seeing, I'm definitely excited for where we at right now. We ain't there yet, got a lot more work, but definitely comfortable where we at and how these guys are playing right now. So.
In today, taking multiple first-team reps against Stafford, how is he looking?
He look good, look real good. Making a lot of plays, making a lot of great checks, making great throws. So same thing he's been doing all camp. Making a lot of plays, and that's what it's about: competing with the best and getting better. So.
Aaron, Raheem Morris has spoken about what makes the season unique from every season. How unique does it feel to you, and how much of that is because of your new quarterback?
As far as what?
As far as him and like how much unique it is right now.
Well, it's good.
It's too early, but
yeah, it's good having him here. Definitely excited for what he's been bringing in, pitting in. So just ready to translate that to a football game. So.
You've had good seasons where you didn't even have camp. I'm sure if the season started tomorrow, you'd be ready. But being that it's still 2.5, 3 weeks away, what do you want to kind of do in these last 3 weeks to get even more ready, physically or mentally?
Just keep cleaning up my technique, doing what I need to do to continue to get better. This stupid as hell. How you doing? Getting this guy ready, make sure he's right to play. So, you just messed me up. I forgot what you asked me.
About in the next 3 weeks, getting physically or mentally.
Oh well, just sharpening up my, the little things. Making sure come game time I'm prepared, I'm ready. From technique things, from just rushes, the plan to run, and certain things like that. Just continue to keep working on that. So.
Aaron, specifically with Matthew, over the last 3-4 weeks or so, obviously he's learning a new system and trying to stack those reps together. But how do you see him specifically respond when he makes a mistake or when there's a negative play? What do you see him do after that?
Oh, it's on to the next play. I feel like, he see things and he make great checks when he see us in certain things. And even if it's a bad play, it's on to the next play. He don't let it affect him. So that's what you want out of a quarterback. Got to have a short memory like that when things don't go right. So you go to the next play so you can, continue to play ball. So.
Good.
Yeah, thank you.
Thanks, Aaron.
Yeah, really, you look at it, it was the opportunity to acquire a really good player that's had a lot of success. He offers a physical presence to our room. And really, we feel good about the running back situation, but, some of the volatility of what Daryl's gone through, even just throughout the course of camp, wanted to make sure you got somebody else that's played in big-time games, that's brings a physical presence to that room. But I've been really pleased with what Jake Funk's done, also Xavier, and so Daryl is still going to have a really big role. It doesn't really change the outlook for him, and then we'll see how quickly we can get Sony up to speed.
Leslie used the word complimentary a lot yesterday when he was talking to us about the trade. Is that a role you similarly envision for especially Daryl and for Sony?
I think it's to be determined, Jordan. Here's what went into it is that you've seen the body of work. You know that he's coming from a place that they're doing the little things the right way. Relationships in that building that I really trust the perspective, the opinions that they have, and really speak very highly of him. And then I'll tell you, a huge influence on it was Thomas Brown. Having worked with Sony, having a relationship, being able to have some really intimate knowledge about the human being is what you feel so good about making a decision like that. But the anticipation is that he's coming in here to contribute and to be a big factor. How big of a factor is to be determined, because today was the first day we saw him, and we haven't even really gotten started with him yet.
When you say how long it takes them to get up to speed, what's your hope and expectation there, Sean?
Well, I don't really, I would just say just take it a day at a time. Fortunately, I've seen guys that are really conscientious be able to come in a short amount of time and make contributions. You look at C.J. Anderson for us a couple years ago, what he was able to do. I think the type of teacher that Thomas Brown is will accelerate that learning curve, and everything I've heard about Sony and the way that he's wired mentally and just the way that he goes about his business, I do anticipate him being a quick study, and the goal is to have him ready to go and be a big-time contributor on the 12th.
Was there any temptation to get him out there today?
No, there wasn't any temptation.
Just because he doesn't know?
Yeah, it wouldn't have been the most efficient usage of time. He got out there and did some things in the drill work and the controlled settings, but that wouldn't have been fair to him, and he's traveling and stuff like that, so didn't think about that today.
Did you have an opportunity to sit down and talk to him yet, or not yet?
Not yet. I mean, really, we've kind of played phone tag, and it happened so quickly, and then he was traveling and getting here and getting the physical. So really, knew of him, but met him for the first time out here today, and looking forward to continuing to get to know him.
There were some games last year where Cam, you gave him the ball 20-plus times.
Yep.
He's a guy that has a track record of 200 carries in a season. Could he evolve into that role where he becomes a dominant back?
You know what? You never know, Gary, because if you had told me that some of those games were going to come up, that wasn't necessarily part of the plan. But you think about the games like New England is the one that comes to mind. I didn't anticipate us being able to run the ball that efficiently and stick with the ground game. But if you can do that, you're going to continue to activate that part of your offense. Is he capable of it? Absolutely. His track record says that. Whether that becomes exactly what happens with us or not is to be determined.
Yesterday, Les said that no determination has been made for a roster spot between Corey and Johnny. What have you seen from those two throughout camp?
Yeah, I've seen really two guys that have performed at a really high level, and so everybody knows what Johnny's meant to this team, to me, really to our organization, and this goes long back before I even got here. But Corey's come in, he's done a nice job, and we're going to continue to evaluate that. And there's obviously a lot of complications that have kind of added to that situation just based on COVID and things of that nature that even convoluted a little bit more.
And then going into this last game, how many jobs, if you can say, do you think are kind of being decided?
It's a good question. I don't know if you necessarily look at it like that, Lindsay. I mean, you feel pretty good about what potentially could be what our roster looks like. Now how guys shape that role for themselves, there's still a lot of things to be determined, as far as that goes. But I think these guys know, this is an important game for a lot of guys, some of which will affect their status with our team, and some it may help them with some other places. But I think the goal is for us is let's help put these guys in positions to go enjoy and the opportunity to compete to the best of their ability and see what happens. But there's a lot of situations that we feel good, based on just the way that we approach it, but we've got to go do it. But to say there's an exact number would be hard for me to say.
With Sonny's experience and leadership, how much changes the dynamic of the running back?
I think he adds just that, experience playing in the big time games. I think he's a nice complement to what we already have in terms of when you look at the confidence that we have in Darrell Henderson and what he's been able to do when he's been available for us. And then, like I said, I've been really pleased with what Jake Funk's done over the last, really couple weeks, really showing great maturity for a rookie player. He did some really good things out here today. And so I think, Sony definitely helps solidify just the foundation of that room, but what his role is to be determined. But he's got a track record that kind of, and a resume that speaks for itself.
Will you travel most all your veterans?
We will, yeah. There's always a couple exceptions to that rule, whether it's family stuff or whether they're injured and you keep them back. But for the most part, everybody's traveling with us.
Your younger defensive backs, aside from your kind of keyed-in starters, seem to be really competing, especially some of those maybe final spots that are available.
Yep.
What have you seen from guys like J.R. Reed, Dante Harris, even Dante, who's competing?
Yeah, I think, it's good to get Double D back out here and playing, Jordan, because he's done a really nice job. I think when you look at the corner spot, the depth behind Jalen, what Darius has done, I've really been pleased with David Long. Robert Rochelle's really stepping up, but then you even see, what an unbelievable play by Bronte Harris last week, getting Dante Dion back out here. He's such an instinctual player, and you're always hearing him out here, but he's got a zest for life that you can't help but love being around. And then the safety position, I really, Jordan Fuller's really taken it and run with it, and Taylor Rapp. I think those two guys have done such a nice job. You can see Burgess is still getting comfortable, getting back from the injury, but I've been really pleased with J.R. Reed. You look at Juju Hughes. These guys have done, a lot of really good things, and they're making us some difficult decisions, and not to mention Nick Scott's going to be coming back pretty soon, and I think he's done an outstanding job. If he can pick up where he left off, and so, the depth of those rooms, at the corner and the safety positions is exciting for us, and there's definitely going to be some really tough decisions, Jordan.
Couple more, guys.
Is there any long-term concern about Obo, or is he still?
There potentially could be, but we're still working through that right now, and what exactly comes of that is, we're kind of in the wait and see with how he responds to some of the treatment that we're going through right now.
Ashawn Robinson today?
Yeah, so Ashawn, he's going to have a little minor procedure on his knee, so he'll be out for the next few weeks.
Can you say which knee? Sorry.
You know what? It's I'd be I'm not sure. I know it's a minor procedure. I can promise you it's the right or the left.
With Obo, does that diagnosis from the stinger has that changed at all? Or?
It hasn't changed. It's kind of waiting to see how he responds based on some of the meds that we've got him on, and hopefully it quiets down and calms down, and that's what it's looking like, Jordan. And if that's the response, then it'll be better than what the possible alternative solutions would be.
What you get?
Sean, this scrimmage was the first time, I think, to see Stafford and, everyone going, the ones against ones for a prolonged period. What was your evaluation of Stafford in particular and everyone?
Yeah, I think, we've done a lot of good on good throughout the course of camp, but for an elongated period of time, you're right, this was one of the few times that we've done that. I thought there was really good competitive play from both sides. His command, his ability to be able to work through progressions, understand the different situations. Our defense gave him some things that we hadn't really shown yet, and, we didn't really prep him for it, and the ability for him to recognize it, be able to get the ball where it's supposed to be, and then also, we got a really good defense that made some of their plays. It was encouraging, but his command, his ownership of what's going on, and his ability to really lead the other 10 guys around him, you can't help but get excited about feeling what that's like. And he's just getting better, and we still got some time to really tighten it up as we get ready for the 12th. But very pleased with him overall, Gary. I thought he had a really nice day, and I continue to say it too. Football's a game of momentum, but also being able to respond from adversity. And, the consistent, just steady demeanor that he even displayed out here after there was a couple plays where defense did a good job, that's a big deal. And I thought he did a nice job of having that really show itself today as well. Okay? Thanks, guys.